And we're back on the People Chronicles with Steve Smith, and it's so nice to hear your story as you share it with our community.
Well, thank you.
And learn a little bit about your business, which is, and you haven't told us the name of it just yet.
The name is Awesome Dawgs Dog Training.
I love it already.
Thank you. It was my wife's idea, Awesome Dawgs. It's what we strive to create every day, awesome dogs, and we do work on training both ends of the leash.
I like
as our
that.
tagline is teaching people, reaching dogs. We find if we cannot teach the people, which is sharing with the community, you can never reach the dog. And as was shared with us one time with a very experienced dog trainer of 40 years, Ian Dunbar is his name, if you miss connecting with that person, there's a chance that dog will never get what it needs because of how or what you said to that person. So your communication to that community individual is so critical to that dog's success or failure. That dog is hanging on your skills as a human communicator to get it across to the people. Our job, technically training dogs, is pretty easily accomplished most times. It's getting the thoughts through to the people and the families, or on a broad scope if you're dealing with an educational situation, children in a school, or larger communities. Getting that communication cleared to the other individuals, humans, is the important part of that task.
How many times do people come to you and say, can you teach an old dog new tricks?
We do hear that question a lot, and then I say, how many feet does it have?
Can I ask you a question and let me see if you have an answer for it?
Sure.
It's a dog who is about 10 years old that insists on continuously knocking over the garbage can. Is it my fault because I'm leaving the garbage can in the same position every single day? Or am I the dummy that needs to put the garbage can in a different location?
Well, in framework of my last statement, I would never call you the dummy because the dog may never get a chance to play with a garbage can again. But usually a lot of those activities are out of boredom and lack of things to do. So you might either want to plant some fun garbage cans for him to have a good time with and keep the real one elsewhere, or give him something else to do that is not related to garbage cans.
See, when I ask the question, I already know what the answer is.
Many times people do.
You're
And that's
absolutely right. So with your business, how far you've come now, and you look back to your past, how is it that you've come from a full circle, something that has happened in your past, to where you are now?
Well, I find that when I look back in my history, and I have not done this a lot until just recently asked to, the things that I've done in the past, for which I was very passionate about, I spent a lot of time with Full Circle Music Society, still out there today, playing music and enjoying and sharing music with community. History Alive was another company that I traveled with, and we shared stories up and down the East Coast and told American history through song, story, and characters. I used to work in a local store, and we served the community on a daily basis, and I spent quite a bit of time with Dave Klein and playing music and enjoying things with him, from bicycle racing to traveling to Europe with him. It was always about sharing and gathering information about cultural experiences and benefiting the community as well as benefiting myself, because I'm part of the community as well. So when it comes to this today, as a business, a profession, and a passion, I realize that it's not far away from where I've been in the past. It now has a different focus and a new love found for animals via our current dogs, my wife's former dog, Darwin Sea Dog, a fantastic dog that was 16 years in his senior years. And our passion for creating bonds between people and their dogs is still what drives every decision in our company. So serving and enjoying and being a part of and creating cultural experiences is at the root of my history and our current mission statement in our business today. So
very interesting.
Yeah. I never thought about that till someone just recently asked me about that.
Great question. Now, as we gather the dogs around, is this 24/7 opportunity for the community to take advantage of? Do they have to make appointments? Tell us how it works, what exactly they need to do.
It typically starts with a phone call or a visit to our business or place of business. We're on Route 12, just east of Reading, on the Pricetown Road. And that's a question, I have a problem with my dog, or I'd like to get some basic training for our dog. And we do a pretty good investigation to make sure that the training skills or services that we're offering actually fit the needs of that person, because what they think they need and what they might need truly could be different. And with our classes that we offer, there's a full level of obedience work. There's also an outdoor play park. Sometimes a simple exercise session can do the dog a lot of good and expose the owners to a different side of their dog when the dog gets to run freely and play with other dogs. We also have certain paths people can follow on their education that could lead them to work like therapy dog work. We have a person with us very closely right now. We're actually creating her service dog with her and for her, which is different than a therapy dog. So some people come to us actually maybe not asking the question directly, but the question often comes out, what can I do to have more fun with my dog? Or if my dog is, say, knocking over trash cans, how can I solve that problem? I look at it as from the dog's standpoint, what can I do as a trainer to give the dog what it needs that the person is willing to deal with or cope with? Because as owners of dogs, we bring them into us really without asking their permission. It's really important for us to understand they have needs, they have habits, they have thinking minds and decision-making abilities, and it's our job to understand what kind of decisions they're going to make based on their past or their breed, et cetera. And can I make sure that the person's willing to meet in the middle with these dogs and what they need? So when they come in and ask a question about how do I get started with dog training, we really want to know, where do you want to end up? Because where you want to end up is really the start of where you begin. Some people just need some basic skills, got a puppy first time, and I'd like to make sure we get it right. We have a Sunday afternoon social, which happens for all of our students, and they come in and just carry on like crazy dogs in our training center. Everybody gets a part of that.
That's neat.
Aside of the obedience part. So it's always a balance of what the owners want and what the dog needs for us.
So each time it could be a different length of time for whatever the dog or owner may need or not.
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
Oh, very much so. We could have 8 people in a class, and we could find one person is going to have to work much harder to get to the same location in education as some of the others. For whatever reason, their own personal schedule, time doesn't allow, situation is different, confined dog that needs a 50-acre farm to run. We're going to have to figure out a way for that person. So each one is very much individual and unique.
And I'm sure that you meet a lot of different people with a lot of different stories with, their pets and
We do, and it's one of the things that we deal with on a regular basis at the store, and that is, okay, the story's now 20 minutes long. The question was, what class should I sign up for? But as all our staff has figured out, people are passionate about their dogs, and they want to tell their story. Same thing as this. They want other people to understand their passion or their problem, and so part of our job is to listen. And the longer we listen, it's the more we learn. And then we can give back to that person, the community, what it needs, and they come back and support us continually because we were there to support them. And that's where I'm still learning. This is not some lifelong mission that I've lived my whole life, that, trust the community, trust your friends, trust your neighbors, let go of things, and it will work itself out. That's a hard one for me to handle. And my wife, my darling wife, Mary Jo Carabello, she will tell you, he's talking, but he's still learning.
Do you think that there's other business owners in our community that are really missing out on what you're trying to teach?
I think there are some that might be, and I really don't go out there looking for those that are succeeding or failing. We have always had the idea of put your head down, run your own race. There are other dog training companies. There are other professions that might have, similar ideas. If we're true to our mission, it's where we keep our eyes in our head. But I do read the newspaper, hear the articles, and I've often thought, that's a great idea. Look how they're doing the same kind of concept of reach out, support, and it gives back. Definitely. And it doesn't matter whether you're dealing with a money-making business or a nonprofit business. If your passion is driven by supporting a particular group of people, those people want to see you succeed and they will give back. If you stop being outreach and become very selfish, that stops coming back to you. And so when you see a business fail, it could be for many reasons, and some of it could be because they've lost focus of their mission. So I keep trying to keep myself on my mission as well. I'm not an experienced lifetime forever business owner, but this has brought a lot of interest and new things to the table for my family and all of our employees. So we've treated every employee there as if they're a business partner. And every time they say, you're something, I always correct them and say, our something, because we're all in this together. And it's very much appreciated and fun loved.
And Steve, I can understand your passion for what it is that you do and how it is a learning experience every day, as you said.
It is. Truly
What
is.
do you see for Steve Smith 10 years from now? Do you think there's something else that you can add to what you've already created?
Two things I would say 10 years from now. One would be I do have a full-time job, 7 to 3:30, outside of my job for our own personal business. Over the course of 10 years, I would hope to make a transition out of that and be full-time in our own company. So that's one thing that I see being accomplished in 10 years. And the other thing would be that I have no idea what 10 years is going to bring, and I'm willing to say, bring it on, and let's see what that brings, because I had no idea 10 years ago I'd be sitting here today. And so bring it on.
That's the spirit.
Oh,
You love adventure.
It's exciting, and I honestly think, going back to one of your earlier questions, the lack of fear of failure. And in some cases, egg on my face, did it wrong, didn't work, lost some money. Take it and run. You know, it is what it is. Get on to the next thing. I wasn't a failure. Maybe the idea was, you know, so just forget about the fear of failure. Just move on with it. I think that would be a very important thing for many people to get a hold of. People never want to look bad or do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, but doing nothing is actually failing in itself.
I love the fact that you have so much trust in our community, and that's such a feel-good story in itself.
And that's a learned skill. That is not something that was
I agree.
put in there. That
I
wasn't.
agree.
I can now prove that it is true because we are living it. So, yeah, that is very powerful. That's extremely powerful. In our community, we do live in a very small community. Reading is not like Philadelphia. It's not a gigantic community, but as we found, there are ways to reach even beyond the Reading area, but it's not necessary. We find many of our clients are within a very close zone of our zip codes, and it's giving our business what we need. It's giving our families what they enjoy, and we don't need to look far if we're willing to go out and ask. That is such a stepping stone to get off of. Just go out there and ask the question.
And Steve, how about we end it with your website so people know exactly how they can get in touch with you or if they have any questions?
Sure. Our website is awesomedawgs.com. That's AWESOMEDAWGS, Dawgs, awesomedawgs.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. So you can find all information there about our store, which is called the Dog Store. Everyone says we're going to the dog store, so we titled our business that. It is partially retail, as is the training space for the training component, and then the dog park, which is another outdoor facility behind our building. That's all on the website. Our events, we have all kinds of information about the products we sell and our services and classes on the website.
All right. Steve Smith on the People Chronicles, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure being here, Jackie. Thank you very much.
I'm going to find out from you off of the show what you think of, because I know you like music dog therapy.
Oh, it's out there. It's wonderful stuff.
Oh, really? It's
Absolutely.
real?
It is real.
Oh, we have to
Positively.
talk. We're going to talk.
Absolutely.
This is the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman.